Hello and welcome. This video centers around techniques for intervention to help minimize employee burnout. Specifically, we aim to help you understand how to combat burnout in the framework of the JDR model that was discussed in the previous session. There are 4 key strategies for intervention when noticing burnout in employees. These strategies revolve around making changes in the daily life and routine of employees. This can be done at the individual or organizational level to increase job or personal resources and decrease job demands. These include job redesign, training, job crafting, and strengths-based intervention, which will be expanded on in the next slides. Job redesign is a systematic reorganization of work-related processes, functions, and tasks that involve reviewing job responsibilities and tasks and looking at the possibility of reallocating some of the tasks among staff to improve output. This allows employees to decrease job demands to some extent. This is typically seen as a top-down organizational approach in which the worker is mostly passive and other people are kind of making the decisions about the expectations for them. The steps of a job redesign include clarify what is being done today compared to the job description, determine the skills of employees and their level of fit with their current positions, reallocate tasks so employees have a better fit with their skills, interests, and position requirements, and formulate new job descriptions. Prepare employees for those differences and provide training to get employees ready for their new responsibilities. You'll want to implement the program by providing employees with their new job descriptions so they have clear expectations. And finally, you'll want to revisit this to make sure that there is still alignment between what is being done and what is expected of them. Although job redesign may be helpful, it may not be the most useful intervention tool for nonprofits because it is a rather time and resource-intensive process. Another option is job crafting. Job crafting is an employee-initiated approach which enables employees to shape their own work environment such that it fits their individual needs by adjusting the prevailing job demands and resources. This focuses on the processes by which employees change elements of their jobs and relationships with others to redefine the meaning of their work and their social environment at work. Job crafting can be done in various different ways, the first of which is task crafting. Task crafting involves adding or dropping the responsibilities set out in an official job description as fit. It may also involve changing the nature of certain responsibilities or dedicating different amounts of time to what you currently do. This is essentially an informal job redesign that is aimed at decreasing structural job demands or increasing structural job resources. The next option is relationship crafting, which can involve changing up who we work with on different tasks and who we communicate with and engage with on a regular basis. For example, a marketing manager that typically only works with the marketing team could work with a firm's app designer in the brainstorming stage of developing an app to get a different perspective and craft new relationships in the organization. Relationship crafting revolves around increasing social job resources. The last is cognitive crafting, which centers around changing one's mindset about what they do. By changing perspectives on what we're doing, we can find or create more meaning about what might otherwise be considered busy work. Everything one does in a nonprofit can be tied to the mission, which could be helpful in cognitive crafting. Although this is done at the individual level, organizations can foster an environment that encourages communication and alignment of goals. Organizations can also emphasize certain aspects of the job that relate to job crafting in a formal or informal training. Job crafting is an individual-level intervention that has the ability to actively manage the tasks that are expected and change how we view the work that we do. Think about how you could encourage job crafting at your organization. Training is an intervention technique that can be incorporated on the organizational level as well. Training can equip employees with the tools to better tackle job demands and increase their job resources. Training can be used to help develop skills related to daily jobs or tasks. There are various online resources that employees can use to develop their skills through informal knowledge management channels. A free training that is designed specifically for nonprofit professionals is linked on the screen. These cover topics such as fundraising, grant writing, leadership, governance, accounting and finance, operations, marketing and communications, volunteer engagement, and program management that your employees could use to help build their skills. There can also be organization-wide training on skills that are needed across the organization or to reinforce the values of the organization. Mentorship or coaching may also prove to be a valuable informal training tool that enforces organizational culture and emphasizes employee value if they're chosen to be mentors. This can serve to transfer that sticky knowledge that may not be as easy to teach in formal learning channels. Training is especially important during times of change. This will help employees feel more prepared for the change, decrease uncertainty during times of change, and decrease troubleshooting problems when the change is implemented. Training allows employees to develop their skills, transfer sticky knowledge, and help with organizational change. This equips employees with the necessary assets to do their job well. Strengths-based intervention is the last intervention strategy that we are going to talk about, and it is based in social work. This approach builds on employee strengths, specifically seeing them as resourceful and resilient when they are in adverse conditions. In a strengths-based approach, you want to identify employee strengths. Strengths can include attitudes, skills, knowledge, and approaches to problem solving. This allows for a person to see themselves at their best in order to see the value they bring by just being them, and allows them to capitalize on these strengths rather than focusing on the negative characteristics. You also want to address the environment that they are in. This could be how systems are set up and how much autonomy they have in their role. This also includes resources that are available to them to build their strengths. For example, a project where they can display these strengths. Finally, you want to address any constraints that may be holding back an individual's growth. This may lead to the incorporation of other interventions in this model, such as training or job crafting. If you can identify and emphasize employee strengths and are able to develop these strengths, their self-efficacy will increase and they will be able to better support the organization. Timing may play an important role in the strengths-based approach. It may be beneficial to incorporate this into performance appraisals, but it is also important to recognize employee strengths as you see them, especially for employees who are at risk for burnout. In order to give you some practical application of this model, we have provided you a scenario. This scenario centers around an employee named Jim. I want you to pause this video and read the scenario, and then think about how you could incorporate each of the intervention strategies in this situation. There are multiple routes someone could take when presented this scenario with Jim. If you wanted to do job redesign, you may want to look at Jim's job description and see what of his current duties are listed on it and what are not. See what skills he excels at and where other employees may be able to take on some of his work. Ensure that all employees understand what is expected of them with the new structure. You could also encourage job crafting. This will be up to Jim, but see if there's something new he could work on with one of his projects and help build his social support at work. You can also point out how what he does helps the nonprofit carry out its mission. Training may also be a helpful option. You may want to help Jim learn how to prioritize tasks. The time management, 6 powerful tips to get more done training may be helpful for Jim. Strengths-based intervention will help build Jim up. Reinforce that Jim is a valuable part of the team and point out some recent accomplishments. You want to acknowledge that Jim has a lot on his plate and help him set goals to continue to support the organization. You could incorporate one or many of these options to help Jim manage his stress and avoid burnout. Think about how scenarios like these may come up in your organization and how you can help your employees. To recap, job redesign is a formal, intensive process to reallocate tasks and functions. Job crafting is an employee-initiated approach that allows employees to shape their environment to align with their individual needs. Although this is individual, there should be organizational support. Training provides opportunity to build skills and grow with the organization, while strengths-based intervention emphasizes employee strengths to help build self-efficacy and show employees they are valuable to the organization. Thank you for listening, and we hope you have found some ways that you can help combat burnout in your organization.